What I'm going to tell you today will change your entire life. Before I reveal the 3 words that Jesus himself said, words so powerful they can change your life in ways you can't even imagine, I have to say something that may make you uncomfortable, but it's something we need to talk about. When Jesus said, "It is finished," during his final moments on the cross, he was making one of the most profound statements in human history. These were not just words of surrender to death, they were a declaration of victory. Jesus was letting the world know that his mission on earth, the purpose for which he came, had been completed. The words, "It is finished," signified that he had accomplished everything needed for humanity's salvation. Throughout his life, Jesus taught, healed, and showed people the way to live in accordance with God's will. But his ultimate purpose was to provide a way for humanity to be reconciled to God. This required a sacrifice, a perfect, sinless sacrifice. Jesus, who was without sin, became that sacrifice. When he said, "It is finished," he was indicating that the price for sin had been paid in full. The separation between humanity and God caused by sin had been bridged through his death. In his last moments, Jesus endured unimaginable tortures. Before being nailed to the cross, he was whipped and flogged, which was a brutal Roman punishment. The Roman soldiers used a whip with multiple leather cords, often embedded with sharp pieces of metal or bone, to tear the skin and flesh from his back. This torture alone left him physically weak and in severe pain. After the flogging, he was mocked by the soldiers, given a crown of thorns, and hit on the head, causing the thorns to dig deep into his scalp. They also made him carry the heavy wooden cross through the streets to the place of his crucifixion, even though he was already exhausted and gravely injured. Once at the place called Golgotha, Jesus was nailed to the cross. Nails were driven through his hands and feet, causing excruciating pain. Crucifixion was one of the most painful and humiliating forms of execution used by the Romans. It was designed to inflict maximum pain and suffering over several hours. As he hung on the cross, every breath he took was painful, as he had to lift his body up to relieve the pressure on his lungs. Despite the intense physical agony, Jesus remained focused on his mission, fulfilling God's plan for the redemption of humanity. When Jesus said, "It is finished," he wasn't just speaking about the end of his physical suffering. He was indicating that the work of salvation was complete. All the Old Testament prophecies about the coming Messiah were fulfilled. The system of animal sacrifices that the people of Israel had relied on to atone for their sins was no longer necessary. Jesus' death was the ultimate sacrifice that paid the penalty for all sin once and for all. By saying, "It is finished," Jesus was also declaring victory over the powers of darkness. His death wasn't a defeat. It was the moment that sin, death, and Satan were defeated. Jesus had fulfilled the plan God set in motion from the beginning of time. He had done everything necessary to restore the relationship between God and humanity. For us today, "It is finished" means that we don't have to earn our salvation through good works or religious rituals. Jesus did everything on our behalf. His death and resurrection provide the way for us to be forgiven and reconciled to God. All we need to do is accept this gift of grace by faith. Jesus took the punishment we deserved so that we could have eternal life with him. When Jesus said, "It is finished," he was declaring that his mission was complete. He had paid the full price for sin, defeated the powers of darkness, and opened the way for humanity to be reconciled to God. His suffering was immense, but his victory was even greater. Through his death, he gave us the greatest gift, the opportunity for salvation and eternal life. When Jesus said, "It is finished," on the cross, he wasn't just talking about the completion of his mission. He was speaking these words to us as well, declaring that everything we need to overcome life's struggles has already been accomplished. So it's important to use those same words in your own life. By repeating "it is finished" every day, you're affirming that whatever challenge you're facing has already been resolved by God. For example, if you're struggling with a financial problem, a health problem, or a broken relationship, start speaking the words "it is finished" over that situation. This doesn't mean the problem will immediately disappear, but it changes your mindset and opens up space for solutions in your life. By speaking with conviction and authority, you're aligning yourself with the belief that God has already taken care of the problem. Every time you say, "it is finished," you are reminding yourself that victory has already been achieved and you do not need to carry the burden anymore. Through this simple act of speaking words full of faith, you open the door for positive change and success. Understanding "it is finished." When Jesus said, "it is finished" on the cross, he wasn't just declaring that his mission on earth was complete. He was also speaking these words over every struggle, every challenge, and every pain that you would ever face. He didn't say it for his benefit alone, but for you as well. Those 3 words carry a profound message that your battles, whether they're financial problems, health issues, or emotional struggles, have already been won. The solution to your problem exists, and that's the first step in experiencing real breakthrough, understanding that it's already finished. Many of us live our lives constantly worrying and stressing about how we're going to solve our problems. We think we have to figure everything out on our own, and that can be exhausting. But here's the good news. You don't have to carry that burden alone. Jesus' declaration means that the work has already been done for you. Instead of looking at your problems with fear or frustration, you can now see them from a perspective of peace and assurance. Think of it this way. Imagine you're watching a movie that you've already seen before. You know how the story ends, so even when there are tense moments, you don't get overly worried because you already know the outcome. That's what "it is finished" means for your life. You already know how your story ends, with victory. Whatever you're facing right now, the answer is already there because Jesus declared it finished. So instead of stressing and trying to figure everything out on your own, trust that the solution has already been provided for you. Yes, it might not feel like it in the moment, but faith is about believing in what you cannot yet see. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that Jesus has already taken care of your problems. By understanding that, you can shift your focus away from the struggle and start focusing on the solution that's already been set in motion. It's not about ignoring your problems or pretending they don't exist. It's about realizing that the outcome has already been decided and that it's a victorious one. Let go of the stress, the anxiety, and the fear. Rest in the knowledge that when Jesus said, "it is finished," he meant it. For you, for your struggles, and for your life. Step 2. Visualizing the solution. Step 2 is all about using the power of visualization to see your problems as already solved. This is not just about wishful thinking or daydreaming. It's about actively engaging your mind, heart, and spirit to picture the solution you desire as if it's already a reality. When Jesus said, "it is finished," he wasn't just speaking about his mission. He was also declaring that the things you are struggling with today, whether it's your health, finances, relationships, or personal growth, are already resolved in the spiritual realm. You just need to start seeing them that way. Visualizing the solution means taking time to mentally and emotionally place yourself in the future where the problem is no longer an issue. For example, if you've been struggling with a health problem, picture yourself healthy, full of energy, and living life without that burden. If it's a financial issue, imagine being able to pay your bills with ease, give generously to others, and enjoy financial freedom. If your relationships are strained, see yourself surrounded by love, peace, and understanding with those you care about. This isn't just about thinking positive thoughts. When you visualize the solution as already complete, something powerful happens in your mind and spirit. Your subconscious mind begins to align with that vision. Instead of focusing on the problem and feeding your fears or doubts, your mind starts to work towards the solution. You begin to feel the peace, relief, and joy that comes from knowing the problem has already been taken care of. It's like your mind is rewiring itself to believe in the outcome. By doing this, you activate your faith. Faith isn't just believing in something you can't see yet. It's also about seeing something before it's physically present. When you visualize the solution and feel the emotions that come with it, you're putting your faith into action. You're telling God, "I trust that this is already done, and I'm ready to receive it." This shifts your entire perspective from one of worry to one of confidence. Close your eyes for a moment and think about the problem you're facing. Now, imagine what your life looks like when that problem is no longer there. How does it feel? What has changed? Picture the situation completely resolved and let that vision sink deep into your heart. The more you do this, the more your mind and spirit will start to align with the truth that the solution is already finished. Remember, this isn't magic, it's faith in action. The more clearly you see the solution, the more your faith grows, and the more you align yourself with the reality that Jesus has already declared, "It is finished." Keep visualizing, keep believing, and watch how your life begins to move toward the breakthrough you're waiting for. Step 3. Declaring your victory. Step 3 is about the power of declaring your victory out loud. Words have incredible power, especially when spoken with authority and faith. You're not just speaking into the air, you're speaking into your situation, aligning your words with the truth that Jesus has already won the victory for you. When you declare, "It is finished," over your struggles, you're stepping into the spiritual authority you've been given. Think of it like this. When you declare something, you're not asking for it to happen, you're claiming it has already done. This is an important distinction. When Jesus said, "It is finished" on the cross, he wasn't hoping for victory, he was announcing that it was already accomplished. In the same way, when you say, "My healing is finished," "My financial breakthrough is finished," or "My relationship is restored," you're declaring that the work is already done. You're not begging for it to happen, you're standing in faith that God has already provided the solution. Your words carry weight, and they have the power to shape your reality. Proverbs 18:21 says that life and death are in the power of the tongue. What you speak over your life has the potential to bring either life or defeat. When you declare victory, you're choosing life. You're shifting your focus from the problem to the solution. Instead of dwelling on the struggle, you're speaking the end result into existence with faith. But here's the key. You have to speak with authority and believe what you're saying. It's not just about repeating words mindlessly. When you declare, "It is finished," you need to truly believe in your heart that it's already done. This isn't always easy, especially when circumstances look the opposite of what you're declaring. But that's where faith comes in. Faith is about trusting in the unseen, knowing that God is working behind the scenes, even if you can't see it yet. Start by speaking over the specific area where you're facing a struggle. If it's your health, say, "My healing is finished." If it's your finances, declare, "My financial breakthrough is finished." If it's a relationship issue, say, "My reconciliation is finished." Say these words with boldness and conviction. Speak them as though they've already happened, because in the spiritual realm, they have. Every time doubt tries to creep in, every time fear whispers that things won't change, push back with your words of faith. Reaffirm the victory that Jesus has already won for you. Speak life over your situation daily, making it a habit to declare your victory. Your words have power. When you speak with faith and authority, You're aligning yourself with God's promises, and your circumstances will eventually catch up to what you've been declaring. Victory is already yours. You just need to speak it into existence. Keep declaring your victory and watch how things begin to shift in your life. Step 4. Surrender and trust. Step 4 is all about surrendering and trusting. Once you've declared victory over your struggles, you must let go of the worry about how everything will work out. This is often the hardest part, because our natural instinct is to keep thinking about the problem, trying to figure out how it will get solved. But when you truly believe in the power of your declaration, you need to trust that God has already taken care of it. You've done your part by speaking victory. Now it's time to let God do His part. Surrendering means releasing control. It means you stop trying to micromanage the situation or overanalyze every detail. After all, when you declared, "It is finished," you were stepping into faith, acknowledging that the solution is already there. So why continue to worry? Jesus didn't declare "it is finished" and then wonder whether it was true. He spoke those words with absolute confidence that the work was completed. You need to have the same mindset. Once you've declared victory, don't allow fear or doubt to creep back in. It's crucial to shift your focus from fear to faith. Instead of stressing about how or when things will change, trust that God's plan is already in motion. His timing is perfect, even if it doesn't match your own. Philippians 4:6 reminds us not to be anxious about anything, but to present our requests to God with thanksgiving. That's key, thanksgiving. When you give thanks as if the problem is already solved, you're demonstrating the highest level of faith. You're showing that you trust God completely, even if you haven't seen the outcome yet. Letting go doesn't mean doing nothing. It means releasing the need to control every step, and instead moving forward with confidence. If you've declared healing, start acting like you're healed. If you've declared a breakthrough, begin preparing for it. Your actions should align with the faith you've spoken. Faith without action is dead, as the Bible says. So surrendering and trusting isn't about sitting back and waiting passively. It's about living in the belief that your victory is already won. Surrendering also brings peace. When you let go of the need to control the outcome, you free yourself from the stress and anxiety that come with uncertainty. You're no longer carrying the burden of trying to figure everything out on your own. Instead, you're walking in peace, knowing that God has everything under control. And this peace allows you to move forward in your life with a sense of confidence and purpose. Gratitude plays a big role here as well. When you give thanks before seeing the results, you're not only strengthening your faith, but you're also shifting your perspective. Gratitude helps you focus on what's going right instead of what's going wrong. It aligns your heart with God's plan and opens the door for more blessings to flow into your life. So start giving thanks for your victory, even if it hasn't shown up in your reality yet. Believe that it's already done, and that God is working behind the scenes to bring it to pass. Surrendering and trusting means letting go of worry and fear, trusting that God has already solved your problem, and giving thanks as if it's already done. It's about having faith in the process and moving forward with confidence, knowing that your victory is already secured. Trust God's plan, let go of the outcome, and watch how everything falls into place in ways you couldn't have imagined. The challenge to repeat and believe is a simple but powerful step in your journey toward transformation. It involves repeating the words, "It is finished," every day for 21 days. While this might seem like a small act, it carries great significance because of the power behind those words. When you speak these words daily, you're not just making a statement. You're aligning yourself with God's promises and declaring that whatever challenges you're facing have already been resolved in the spiritual realm. Repetition is key here. By saying, "It is finished," consistently, you're reinforcing the belief in your mind and heart that your problems are already taken care of. This repetition builds faith over time, helping you move from doubt to certainty. It might feel strange at first, especially if you don't see immediate changes in your circumstances. But remember, faith is believing in what you cannot yet see. Speaking "it is finished" daily helps you stay focused on God's power, not the size of your problem. Each time you declare those words, you're taking a step of faith that shifts your perspective from worry to trust. Belief in the power of your words is essential. Proverbs 18:21 tells us that life and death are in the power of the tongue, meaning the things you say can shape your reality. When you declare victory, you're speaking life into your situation. You're claiming the promises God has made to you, and in doing so, you're inviting His power to work in your life. But it's not just about saying the words, it's about believing them. When you speak "it is finished," believe with your whole heart that God has already handled it. This belief turns your words from mere statements into powerful declarations of faith. Trusting the process is another vital part of this challenge. You might not see changes immediately, but that doesn't mean they aren't happening. Sometimes, God works behind the scenes in ways we can't understand or perceive at first. By repeating "it is finished" daily, you're not just waiting for something to happen. You're actively participating in the process of transformation. Trust that as you continue to speak those words with faith, your life will begin to shift in ways you never thought possible. It's important to recognize that this challenge isn't about a magical formula or quick fix. Instead, it's about building a deeper connection with God, trusting His promises, and allowing your faith to grow stronger each day. As you go through the 21 days, you may find your mindset shifting. You'll start to focus less on the problem and more on the solution that's already been provided. Your heart will begin to align with God's plan, and your actions will start to reflect the belief that the battle has already been won. By the end of this challenge, you'll likely notice a significant change in how you approach your struggles. You'll feel more confident, more at peace, and more aligned with God's promises. So take the challenge seriously. Repeat "it is finished" daily. Believe in the power of your words, and trust that God is working on your behalf. As you do, you'll begin to see doors open, breakthroughs happen, and blessings flow into your life. Let this simple declaration of faith become a powerful tool for transformation, and watch how God shifts your life in amazing ways.